I offered a one-on-one coaching with me. One person bought in, and first meeting, what we did was, this lady, she owns a transportation business, and I would say she was making like $34,000 a month. First meeting off the rip, I showed her how to convert that to 6 figures a month.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Haitian King podcast. Today, we got a special guest. She's an entrepreneur, and she's a business consultant, a real estate consultant, and a home renovation contractor. And this is Miss Carrie Goodley.
Thank
How you doing, Miss Carrie?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming to the show.
Yeah, I'm excited about what we're going to be talking about today.
Everything and anything. Everything you just said.
Everything and anything.
Yeah,
yes.
So what attracted you to being an entrepreneur? To start with that.
So I'm going to be honest. When I decided to be an entrepreneur, it was scary at first, but the reason I did it was because I had 3 kids, and I wanted time freedom. I did not want to have to ask for permission to go to dance recitals or go to extracurricular activities. I wanted to be able to make my own schedule, and I wanted to be able to control my life. So that's what made me take the risk and say, okay, I'm going to do this thing, and whether I fail or not, I'm going to do this thing, and I want to be an entrepreneur.
Because as we started talking off camera before this, and I got a chance to look at your portfolio, you do a lot.
I do a little something.
No, you do a lot.
You do
That's
a
real.
lot.
You do a
Yeah.
lot. And let's just start with home renovation. How did you get into that?
So, to make a long story short,
No, make it as long as possible. We got time.
We got nothing but time.
so entrepreneurship, when you get to the root of it, it's about purpose. When you can take your purpose and monetize it and help solve a problem, that's kind of where you get entrepreneurship. It's a lot of serving that goes into it.
True.
And so when you talk about purpose, I had a spiritual experience at the age of 14, and I received a download that I was supposed to do real estate. And in my mind, I thought that meant I was supposed to be a real estate agent. As I got older, I realized that my temperament didn't align with that profession. And so I went to God and I said, God, I know what you told me, but I don't want to be a real estate agent. And so, I had to dig deep and realize that when he said you would be in real estate, that didn't mean selling real estate. That meant owning real estate. That meant revitalizing real estate. So in order to get into the real estate business, part of my portfolio, what you saw, I had to fix my credit. I had to prepare financially. And when I did that, we kind of hit the ground running, but we made some mistakes.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we made some mistakes. We were young and inexperienced, but we knew that we had a goal. And so we had come across different contractors that were not great contractors.
Yeah.
And so in that, while it wasn't a great experience, I was gaining experience. So I learned how to find my own homes that were either not on the market or priced very well to where I could make a good return on them. I learned how to manage my own projects. I learned how to manage budgets. I learned how to pick out and design properties that were attractive to end buyers at a price that they could afford, but was something that they could be proud of. Yeah. So I had a friend that gave me this revelation. She said, Carrie, why don't you become a contractor? And I said, I don't want to be a contractor, because in my mind, a contractor was a person that they had a hammer in this hand, a hard hat in this hand, and a tape measure in this hand. And that just wasn't me. That wasn't my style.
Yeah.
I'm a consultant, but that's what contractors do. They manage the project.
Yeah, pretty much.
They consult and they pull all of the strings together. The contractor is the glue. They're not necessarily the person that is hammering the nail or floating the sheetrock and stuff like that. So as I was going through those experiences and having to babysit these contractors, I learned that as a trade. And I said, well, I'm paying these guys to do it and I might as well pay myself to do it
Hold on, time
and
out.
get paid to do
Okay,
it.
time
Yeah.
out. You mean to tell me you know how to use a hammer and nail
I
and
know how to use
sawzall?
a hammer. I didn't say I do use
Oh,
a hammer.
okay. So that's because I got confused.
I know how to use the power tools because you want to
seen
always
them.
know how to do what you want other people to do for you. So
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
how to do those things. Do I do those things? Absolutely not. I like to keep a good manicure. So we're not doing that. but I love managing projects. That's what I'm good at. And so, through those bad experiences, like I said, I gained the experience that I needed to be able to walk in my purpose and become a female contractor and start renovating homes and revitalizing homes.
So as a female doing it, so like like they probably thinking like this is a man job. So if any female that's watching this, I mean, how you navigate through that? Like is this like a how would you put it in a I want to say like because most of the time I never met a female contractor
Me
before
neither.
too. You know what I'm saying? So no, you don't think like maybe female watching this like that's not something I want to do.
So therefore, what you got to say to them to where
Yeah,
to, an
it's
extent
like as a
to
female.
put it at ease to where any female could do it? What would you say to somebody that's thinking I should become a contractor, but then again I'm a female? How would I do this? What would you have to say to them?
I think if you're a woman and you're aspiring to be a contractor, you have to know that this industry is predominantly a man's industry.
Okay.
And you have to be assertive, but you can be femininely assertive to be taken serious because the men will try you. And I've been tried a few times, but thankfully you have to be able to do your research. You have to know pricing and you have to know where money is being allocated. And you have to be careful to not pay out for things that have not been done. This is a job that a woman can do. But again, you have to be assertive and you can do so without, hooping and hollering. You can be a feminine, assertive businesswoman and still get the job done.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
so it can
also
be
another
done.
thing that I saw down in your portfolio was credit repair. How did you get into that? Like I said, your list is so long. I wish we had a chance to go through every single
I
little
got
thing.
my own thing because I feel like credit repair is a scam. Because I did that in the beginning, so I was trying to get my credit. The minute I called them, and I think I remember paying $100, and then all of a sudden my credit went down. It's just like, okay, and like I called them like we're working on it, I was like okay, and it's $100 a month, and then the next month they take my $100. I'm like, man, I don't see nothing. Like, oh yeah, we had to send, and we had to I guess I forgot how they say.
Send the letters off for you.
Yeah, to trying to see why this is in there, and it's just like 4 or 5 months later, man, I'm still like nothing happened. I'm like, cancel this thing, man. I felt so.
How do you navigate through this world?
How's
got
you
into
the
it?
work in the credit repair? So like, I mean, is that a scam or what?
I'm so glad you asked that question because with the wrong person, credit repair can be a scam. And that's why it's so important to vet the person that you are allowing to help you with your finances. So I just want to tell my story. When I got into credit repair, it was after my first business. It was a brick and mortar. I had started a lighting showroom and I was catering to new home builders and people, renovation contractors like myself. And we were selling these really cool lighting systems and automations for the home and things like that. We ended up going out of business. And at that time, when we were going out of business, I wasn't paying myself a salary because our overhead was so high.
Okay.
So I went like a year or two without really actually making any money, and that's really hard. So by the time this thing is said and done, we close our doors. At my first home that I had purchased, that house was going into foreclosure. I was paying my car note on day 89 every month to keep it from getting repoed. Yeah, because they start repoing your car on day 90.
I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah. If you're 90 days late, they repoing your car. They send it on, you got to catch up on your payments. So, I knew the game, so I was paying it on day 89. I had tons of collections. I had gotten sued by a credit card. I just couldn't keep up. And my credit was so bad. My credit score was a 475. You can't do anything with that.
Yeah.
And, I had just gone through a hard time financially, and I refused to file for bankruptcy. So what I did was I went to this big credit repair company. It's like this nationally known credit repair company, paid them. And I think they would only dispute like 3 things a month for you. So it was a really slow process. I didn't have the patience for it, got out of that program. And then I got hooked up with this guy from Houston that was supposed to be really good. Well, paid him once and never heard from him again. So I said, you know what? I'm not filing bankruptcy. I can be a little bit stubborn. So I was like, I'm not filing for bankruptcy. I'm going to figure out how to do this on my own. And so I started researching. And one thing that I tell people is you really can't repair your credit on your own. So if you feel like credit repair is a scam, the information is available.
Okay.
Anybody can repair their credit. You can find the letters to do it yourself. I even teach a do-it-yourself course where I show people, if you don't trust me to do it, I show you exactly how I would do it for you. Mm-hmm. And it's videotaped. So it's like an on-demand course, literally.
That's pretty cool.
It's less than $60. So, and I have people in this Facebook group and they're getting like bankruptcies deleted, repos deleted, and they're doing it themselves just by following my videos. So, back to what I was saying. So I learned how to repair my credit myself, and this house that I had in foreclosure, all of a sudden it comes off of my credit. This car that was about to get repoed, it comes off, like literally everything is coming off of my credit, and I'm doing a better job than the people that I paid to repair my credit. And so what I did was I took that hardship and I took that pain and I used that to serve other people. And so that's how I started my business, Goodley and Associates, back in 2018. I started with credit repair.
Huh.
That is
So,
crazy.
I mean, but like you said, like those big businesses, they kind of like a scam. But you, in a sense, like
They
if you
string
know,
you along.
yes, it's just what it was doing. Like I'm talking about, I'm going like 3, 4, 5 months, like nothing happened, and $100, and at the time, $100 was a big deal for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I was
it
like,
was meaningful to you.
Yeah, very meaningful.
Yeah.
So therefore, if anybody would want to get in touch with your business, like let's just say somebody within the area or wherever they may be that want to get fix their credit, how would they be able to get in touch with you?
So I have a link tree. I'm going to actually give you guys my link tree and you can post it in the comments.
Yeah.
And it will show you every service that I provide, how to set a consultation with me. But one thing that I will say about credit repair is these big companies, they charge you a monthly fee because they do string you along.
Yeah.
And I understand that people don't like that. So I don't charge a monthly fee. It's a one-time fee. It's a reasonable fee. I don't even charge you for the credit repair. What we do is we meet with you every month because we also help with budgeting. So what you're paying for is you're paying for the meetings with me. You're not paying for the credit repair.
Okay, I got you.
You show up for your meetings and you actually get your credit repaired for free. You get your disputes done for free. Because credit is a mindset. I truly believe that credit is a mindset. And every consumer is not in my target audience. So if you just want to hand it off to me and never speak to me again and get your credit repaired, I'm really not the person for you. My purpose is to really take people from one mindset to another and to get them out of that mindset of poverty and lack and to get them in the mindset of abundance. And to get to that mindset, you have to learn how to steward in the middle. So stewardship is very important and it requires a mindset change. And that's why my clients, they only pay for my coaching, my financial coaching. They don't pay for the disputes.
That's pretty
Oh,
cool.
that's nice. That's nice. And also another thing you had that was kind of like an interesting, because one of the businesses that I had, my very first and failed business, must I say, well, me and my brother, we own a dump truck business. We had like 4 dump trucks and everything. We did okay for a little while, but towards the end, it's kind of like the cost was more than what we were making to where we had to shut it down.
The maintenance.
And I've seen that you got government contract procurement. Like, in what area do you offer that?
So government contracts. Now that's like, I would say in this economy, if you are selling a service or a product and you are not considering the government as your customer, you're missing out.
And that's what I asked, because like I remember there was a job we were seeking. It was like a government contract. We didn't get it, and then the money that those guys were giving was just like, whoa! If we get this contract, we're good. But we never got it, so therefore that's why I asked you that question.
So talk about money. The government spends over $600 billion a year with small businesses, and it's so cool to see because this is an avenue that so many people either they don't know about it or they're intimidated by it, so they don't really explore it or really try to do their research and dive into it. So what I offer is government contract consulting. And as a business owner, what I do is I help other business owners, and I go out and I find contracts for them. I get their pricing, I bid on the contracts for them, and we win when the client wins. So if they get awarded a contract, we take a small fee. They typically will use what's called the middleman strategy, meaning that, say for instance, if it's a dump truck, let's just use that business for an example. We win you a dump truck contract and it's like $1 million, but you're not actually driving the truck. You sub that out to other people that have dump trucks. So you're considered the prime. The prime is the person that actually holds the contract. You would be the prime contractor. But you sub it out and you send that contract, you divvy that work out, or send it out to other people that can perform the work for you.
Yeah.
And you sit at home and you collect the check. You pay your drivers. Their small business is making money. Your small business is making money. And because you got awarded, the consultant that helped you get that contract awarded, they're making money. So you have 3 different people in the situation that are winning.
Okay.
And when I say the government pays for we can say the government is kind of lazy.
Did they pay for everything?
They pay for everything.
Because that contract they offer us, the kind of money they were offering, it's kind of like the way we had it was like all they need to do was our trucks. Give us your trucks, we got the drivers for it, and then sit at home, we're going to send you a check every week. That's the way we understood it. And I was like, what?
The government doesn't buy its own toothpaste. They outsource everything. They outsource food for the prison systems, the commissary. Just to give you an idea, just in the state of Louisiana, there was a contract that I bid on for Doritos chips, the blue bag and the red bag. And the person that won it was a $750,000 contract for Doritos, for the prison, for basically the concession stand at the prison. So,
I mean, just like look, just from somebody that's from like a third world country, this is mind blowing to me.
It is really mind blowing.
It's how the government just
because when
it's
the government
crazy.
contract we almost got, and I remember like when we were bidding for it and waiting on it, and I was doing the math in my head. In a year, we'd be making like $1.25 million a year, and I was like, man, we need to get this contract, but unfortunately, we didn't get it. We just 4 trucks. And I remember I was just telling my brother, if we got to lease some more trucks to give to those guys, we will lease them and give it to them if we got to.
Right.
But so therefore, when we didn't win that contract, the person that won that contract, I'm sure.
But you shouldn't have stopped there. You should have kept going.
But we kept going for sure. But it got to a point when you're chasing other contracts that, of course, not government contract, and then you got like maintenance, because maintenance within those trucks.
Yeah. The tires on
you blew
those
up like a tire. Think about this. If you blew a tire or you got a flat tire, you call somebody to come fix it. Between paying for the tire and them putting on there, that's like $700 per tire.
Yeah.
And then if the truck is loaded, it bring the price from $700 to $1,100. It's not like you got a choice because basically everybody around here has for the same price. Could you imagine you paid $1,100
per tire
to change a tire while a truck is loaded in the middle of a job? It's kind of if you blew an engine, because we had to pay $18,000 for an engine that was blown. So therefore, it was kind of like to where the cost was way higher than what we were making. It's kind of like this truck goes down, you fix it, it's back on the road. A month later or 2, it breaks down again. We got to a point where the business account had like damn near $100,000 into it, and then within 4 months, we had $6,000.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like one of those type of things to where I kept on going to where I realized, that's too much money.
You want to know how you alleviate that?
How?
You become the middleman. And you outsource that work to other people that have their own trucks, and you 1099 them as contractors, and they take on the risk.
Like in what sense? As for the drivers or just the people that fix it? Because that's how we were doing it, though.
Yeah.
We weren't driving the truck ourselves. We had drivers.
But were they your trucks?
They were my own personal trucks.
You don't use your trucks.
Explain that.
So you use another person that has their own truck and just needs to be working and needs a contract.
Okay.
So you go out and get the contracts because that's what you're good at, but you don't want the overhead.
Okay.
You delegate that work to someone that has what you need, which is a truck and a body in that truck that can drive it during the day.
And then the problem with the truck is their problem, not your problem.
It's their problem, not your problem.
Oh.
Wait.
Okay.
I never thought about that. I never thought about that.
It's easy work. You don't have to make it harder than what it needs to be.
And this is
Oh,
no,
whatever.
this is and this is the reason I think I love this show, because we got people that come in
That
and
knows all the answers.
and they educate us and us like things that we don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's a lot of things that I don't know. I mean, right now I'm learning, and I'm sure anybody that's watching this is gonna be like learning as we learning. So to me, that's good content right there. I kind of love this,
Right. And I don't know everything, but I do have the mindset to go and figure it out.
and that's good. So what about the digital products? So what you do with the digital products, like what you're selling and
So mainly what I sell with my digital products are business owner essentials. So business credit is very important. Business owners want to know how they can get funded and be able to access capital for their business. But if you're a startup business, you may not be able to afford my one-on-one. So I put together a course that literally shows you how to build business credit. And I've had people go through my course and access SBA loans, like 6-figure SBA loans, without having to personally work with me one-on-one. But they take this on-demand course to get the information that they need, they implement it, and they access high-level types of funding that they need for their business. So that's just one of the digital products that
so
I
let me ask you
provide.
this: the SBA loan. So like, is it like credit based? Like, do you have credit have to be a certain level for you to be able to qualify for something like that?
For different types of tiers, yes. So the SBA will look at your credit. They're looking for bankruptcies, recent delinquencies, and things like that. Their credit scoring requirements are not as high. So typically you can get an SBA loan with a 620 and above. And what a lot of people don't know is that if you're working with smaller, more local banks, you can access funding with 620 and above. Like if
Okay.
you're trying to get into real estate investing, a lot of people think they can't do it because they're like, well, I don't have a 720 or I don't have like an 800 credit score, so I can't get into real estate investing. There are a lot of small local banks that they are willing to take a risk. And it depends on your credit file. So they're going to look at, can you service a debt? Can you service a debt while that property is not necessarily making money on its own? Like if that is the instance, and what does your credit file look like now? So if you've made mistakes in the past, they'll give you a chance.
With your courses, like I know you got a whole lot of things. So what are the things that your courses cover from A to Z? Like everything you cover to it. Like if somebody have a question or like something they want to know, what do your courses cover?
And then one thing too, like I say, I want to add is the master classes. So the courses and master classes. Can you just in a sense tell us like what is all this about? Just like you were saying.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have 3 main courses. The first course that I advise anyone to look into is my Biggest Winner Credit course.
Okay.
And that's where I actually show you step-by-step over video how to dispute your credit yourself without having to pay a person to do it. So that's the first course that I usually tell people to look at if that's a concern of yours. The second course that I have is my business credit building course. So we offer it as a one-to-one service, but it is a high ticket item. But I want the information to be available to people that, maybe can't access that high ticket item just yet. Okay. So we have it as a course, and we teach people how to build their business credit through tiers and where to go and actually get business credit, where to access it. And I provide them with a list of over like 140 vendors that will grant them business credit based on how they are building it through the course.
Oh.
Yeah, right.
I might need that course myself.
Yeah.
I might need that course myself. But okay.
That's she was talking the whole time. She was talking the whole time.
I'm like, I might need to get that course myself.
We're gonna drop the link. So, and then my third course is Real Estate Investing 101. So I take people through my process of how I learned how to invest in real estate, how to find and procure properties that are affordable, how to vet your contractors, how to negotiate your contracts, because contract negotiation is very important. A lot of people don't know how to read a real estate contract. I give you a real estate contract and show you this is what needs to be on it to make sure that your deal is secure and you can get out of it if you need to during your due diligence period. So we show them that, and then we show them how to design their home or their investment project to make it attractive to end buyers, and then how to get a realtor to price that for you. We take them through the whole process. So those are the 3 main courses that I offer, but then I also will pop in sometimes and offer a live masterclass depending on what I'm hearing that the market needs or what my consumer base needs, based on what they're inboxing me about or what they're telling me. Hey, I want to learn how to start a business. Can you just do business startup? So I might host a master class on that. The last master class I hosted, it was a prodigal to profit master class, and I showed them 5 ways how I was making 6 figures every year and I would never leave my house.
Nice.
And
you need to know.
Right. And so I offered that. I think that was in, oh my gosh, I think it was in April. I offered a one-on-one coaching with me. One person bought in, and first meeting, what we did was, this lady, she owns a transportation business, and I would say she was making like $34,000 a month. First meeting off the rip, I showed her how to convert that to 6 figures a month.
Nice.
And if she would just implement it's just all about the process.
Okay.
As a consultant, you have to be really good at taking a person's business and just breaking it down to actionable steps that they can take to grow and scale the way that they aspire to, while also separating themselves from the business. Because when you start a business, you don't want to be chained to that business.
Yes.
I know I don't. When I start a business, I want to be duly compensated. I want to be financially enriched by that business, but I don't want to be chained to it like a job, because if I wanted a job, I would go and get a job, right? So that's what people want. They want to be financially enriched to be able to leave a legacy for their kids and their grandkids, but they don't want to be chained to that business like a job. And so the first thing that you can do is learn how to scale your business, but also have the systems in place to where if you're not there, that business is still running like a well-oiled machine on all cylinders, and it's profiting the way that you need it to profit. That is the purpose of a business. It is an entity that should be separate from you. So if you are sick, or if you are disabled, or if you just feel like you just want to disappear for 6 months, that business can still run without you. That is the purpose of a business.
Absolutely, I agree
No,
100%.
And that's really.
That's
I mean,
you
that's
cover.
really-
Like you cover a lot. That's a
But
lot.
So this, and the things is like, so usually like starting a business, it's kind of like people usually scared of the work of it, or like it's so much, so like, and the fact that the unknown kind of bring fears to you, like, oh my God, where do I even start? So I think listening to you is just like, man, you can actually call you and like, okay, this is what I want to do, but I don't even know where to start. And you can just say, okay. And that's pretty much like that, from my understanding, that you can actually just have.
Absolutely.
Simplify it to an extent.
Really,
That's one thing
that's
I did
really
a
good.
lot, because I know a lot of people, myself included, even though I have like a failed business before or whatever, but I know a lot of people who genuinely want to start a business, whether it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's cutting grass or whatever it is, it may be, to an extent, they're scared. Because like with a 9 to 5, the beauty of a 9 to 5 to an extent is you're guaranteed a paycheck.
Right.
Yes.
And then a lot of people got that fear to where they don't want to walk away from that guaranteed paycheck to an extent, to a paycheck they got to earn themselves. So therefore, is that like something you feel like your class cover to an extent?
So I feel like my one-to-one consultations would cover that, because it's based on every person's situation. So when you talk to me directly, whatever systems we put together, and they are customized for you. My classes are general, because every situation cannot be accounted for in that small amount of time. But when you speak with me directly, we're able to look at your business, perform an audit of that business or your aspiring business, and show you step by step in ways, in small bite-sized pieces. Because you have to remember, we're all smart, we can figure it out, right?
Yes.
But when you start looking at the information, it becomes overwhelming. People get this analysis paralysis and they freeze. So most people are just looking for a coach that can break things down for them in a systematic way that is easy for them to digest, that they can actually see proof of concept from. And that's why people hire a coach. Like, that is the benefit of hiring a coach, because that coach is going to help you. If they are a true coach, they're going to help you get from point A to point B faster than you would if you were trying to do it on your own.
And yeah, the well said. So okay, let me get this. So let's say let's say I got some money and I wanted to start a business. I don't even know what I want to start. So can I come to you and say, hey, I got this, I want the money, but what I don't want to do 95 for the rest of my life. I want to start a business. Can you guide me to what you think I should do so I can get out working 9 to 5? Is that something you do?
Absolutely. People do it all the time. And the first question that I ask is, what are you good at? Or what is a passion of yours? And then we start breaking that down, because a lot of times people, their passions are connected to their purpose. And God wants us to be in the marketplace. And so in order to do that and to have the resources, supernatural resources, it is very important to be walking in that God-given purpose. And so I will ask people, like, what are you passionate about? What gifts do you have? And then from there, we break down their passions, their gifts. And if they know what their purpose is, we then figure out how to monetize that. We figure out what their market is, their target audience is. And then we figure out, okay, what problem or what pain point can you solve for your target audience to attract them to you? Because really and truly, if you want somebody to buy from you, you have to show them why it is cheaper to buy from you than to continue to stay in the situation that they're in.
Yeah.
That's when people spend money with you.
Oh, like
So I'm loving this.
I genuinely am me myself. I feel like I'm learning all type of stuff.
I just got in my head is just so many questions is because in a sense it's like, let's say you wanted to start a business. The crazy thing is, like, like you say, it's overwhelming. It's so much, you don't even know where to start. And then sometimes you go online, she's like, oh my God, is this person even, if this ain't even real? But having like a true, like, a person that's walking you through it, like I can go to your office, or you can just, I'm sitting down and like a coach telling me, like that's making even my mind at ease. And I can just, if I feel like I'm making them, I even don't know what to do. And I can call you and say, hey, what do you think? And you can step by step and like you said, your courses is general, but the fact that you can actually make it for, like I can, one person, and you can sit down with them and see what they want and what they can do. And this is.
Everything is going digital. No one goes into the malls. Amazon is booming right now. And so everything is being delivered to us at our fingertips. And so what you want to do when you're thinking about your next business opportunity is look at where the market is going. What is the market trending? What is it doing? And you want to be a step ahead. So tech is really big right now. AI is really big right now. Delivery systems are really big right now. So those types of boring businesses are what really, that's where people get a lot of their revenue from. I mean, you have people out here selling clothes and T-shirts and they're making a good bit of money, but it's the people that have the really boring businesses and they're solving a problem.
Yeah,
that's who's making all the money.
Nobody, like a lot of people don't want to do. And usually that's the one you...
Because it's not cute.
Yeah.
Because I got an interesting question for you. It's a bit funny, actually. What's the funniest business somebody had going on and then they approach you and ask your advice? Like whether it's selling drugs or whatever the case might be.
Hey, Miss Carrie, let me tell you something.
Man, I got a drug business going on. Hey, how can you help me improve my profit?
You're not recording anything? I got a drug business going. I mean, I'm still making a little money, but I want to
make more. Like, what's the funniest business somebody approached you about and asked you to help you with it?
I don't know. So I work with all types of businesses. I guess I wouldn't call this one funny, but the closest one to like being drug related was like a CBD business.
Oh,
but
okay.
CBD is legal.
Yeah, CBD is legal.
No, it's just like a quiz, like, just from all this people you deal with in the day to day. Tell us, do you have a story that you think like that's? You think about like when that was odd.
Not really.
Man, because I had something.
I really don't.
Man, I had a guy that I met, and he was telling me he wanted to start his own business. And I'm like, hey man, look, I'm against a 9 to 5. I know I got one, but I'm against it. So what's your idea? What you got going on? And he was like, I want to go to people's house and give them massages. And I'm like, what? He said, yeah. He says, man, the thing is, I worked at a parlor before, like when I was going to college. So therefore, seeing the fact that I own the gift to heal people, help them feel better, that always made me feel better about myself. So therefore, I've seen a lot of people got businesses where they go to people's houses and give them massages. And I'm like, hey man, I'm not gonna tell you don't do it, but it's odd.
Man, I just like, I mean, like you say, it kind of like somebody knock on my door, ring the bell. It's like, how you doing, sir? I'm doing good. I mean, would you like a massage?
Absolutely not. Get off my front porch.
So therefore, that's what my idea was within the whole question. But see, the thing is, I've told them, look, listen, me personally, if you knock on my door, I'll tell you get the hell away from my house. But a lot of people would want to do it. I probably get a massage like once every 6 months, if even that.
Oh, you should definitely be getting one once every 30 or 60 days.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. Because when I get a massage, because the thing is, I stay active. I run, I work out, and so on and so forth. So therefore, I don't have like a bodily pain. Plus, I'm not that old.
That's why you need them if you're active.
But I stretch, I do all that. So therefore, I don't feel no pain to where I got to see like somebody to like a masseuse or something. But at the same time, that's just me. At the end of the day, they got plenty of people.
Would you think like it'd be handy, like somebody just, since you don't go and somebody bring you the massage?
He's a dude. I'm like,
they got to bring the massage to you,
I think it would be great for preset appointments. Like if he's, if he has an ads budget and he's advertising and those are preset appointments or they're referrals, but just door knocking to massage people.
But that's basically what he got. That's how he pitched it to me or whatever.
That's really weird.
Because he knew how to truck business or whatever. And he was telling me, hey man, look, I got this business I want to start. He told me everything. And I'm like, if you got close to my house, honestly, I'll tell you get the hell away from my house. Because first of all, you're a dude.
That would creep me out.
But I just don't know why. Like my mind is, I'm thinking about it. So what if the guy come and he said, you know what? I don't want to just say I want to give you a massage, but I mean you can set an appointment with me. Like she said, like you can set a.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like I know it's kind of weird. I know it's weird. I wanted to start there. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
but you got to think about it. What man? No, Diddy. If you approach a female, but if you approach, let's just say you approach like a young woman that's living by herself, a woman that's like recently divorced, you never know. So that's why, like, honestly, when somebody brings a dream to me, I feel like it's not my job to tell them no, it wouldn't.
So as a female perspective, and the men rang the bell and said, I mean, even though like, let me try to pitch that to you. No, Diddy. That was funny. So, but I'm just saying, like, how you doing? So, I'm trying to. I got this business going. So, like where I massage people, I feel like a lot of people feel like going to a massage might take on your time. So, I don't want to say right now I want to come and give you a massage, but you can set an appointment with me and I come give you a massage at your house.
It's not a terrible idea. It is really not a terrible idea.
It's not a terrible idea, but it's all about how you frame it. Because when you are doing massages and you're doing in-home massages, you have to establish what's called the know, like, trust factor. So people need to know you. A person needs to know you enough to be comfortable with you. They have to like you to allow you to touch them. And they have to trust you in their home. And so if you are doing that before you have established that
I can understand
that relationship with the person, you're not going to get far. I mean, the business idea is great because people pay for convenience, right? So I would pay a person to come to my house and do massages, but not someone that knocked on my door.
I can because literally they touching your body because you would like to have somebody like
you're undressed.
I
so I don't know if you're a psycho.
Because that's what I'm saying. When he brought it to me, it was a raw idea because I've always preached like a business versus against a 9-to-5 or whatever, and he knew I had a business. I'm guessing that's why he approached me about the whole matter. But when he told me that, maybe the way he brought it to me was like, let me go knock on the door and tell people I'm gonna give them more stuff.
We'll help him refine his approach.
I'm gonna reach out. I'm gonna reach out to him and tell him because I'm like, hey, dude, look, me personally, if you came to my house and told me that, I'll tell you get the hell away from my house.
But let's get that though. So what about why not I'm running ideas to my brain? So help me there. So let's say if not me they're going. Let's say you hired a bunch of pretty women that just knocking on people's door and give messages.
That's a whole different complex.
That to me sounds like a setup.
But I feel like it works.
It's a setup, like because how women set people up to get robbed.
Nah.
That's what I would be thinking.
But let's just say, because
See, that's a woman perspective. I mean,
I'm thinking about it maybe from my main perspective. If a beautiful woman knock on my door and tell me they got a business going where they give
That's because
massages
you're a
or
man.
whatever.
I'm a woman. If she knocks on my door, I'm suspicious.
But to me, even though I'd be a little suspicious, but not as suspicious
you
as a
sound
man.
like you ignore red flags.
To where I'm like, hold on, time out. You give massages, how much you ask? I'm like, how much you ask? Like, how much you need for it? Okay, so you come
my
here
gosh.
and give me a massage. I feel like I'd be more open to it
Wow.
versus a man. Maybe it's my male intuitive talking louder,
I mean,
but that's
yeah.
how I look at it.
I mean, even though the I guess nothing happened, it's just a massage, but just the fact it's a woman that's giving you a massage.
Yeah.
Maybe that's as a male perspective, but we're gonna leave it at that but a woman I can understand how she goes through like. It's a setup. I mean,
Man.
when it's
Yeah.
gonna come and bust the door open?
Yes, because
funny.
I'm suspicious at
But
this
check this
point.
out, funny story.
I can't even relax if that's going
Funny
on.
story. Somebody invited me to get a massage with them. It was a friend of mine, but she was a female friend. And then we went there. We were supposed to meet over there. I got there first. And then when I told them I got somebody else coming, they sent me to the room, got comfortable. I wasn't completely naked, but I had my drawers with me and everything. And then we were supposed to get two masseuses, like a male and a female. And I was just sitting there waiting, texting her, and be like, hey, where you at? I'm here. And she's I'm coming. I'm 2 minutes away or whatever. And I was just sitting there. The first person that came in was a man. And I was like, dude, are you going to be doing massaging me? He said, no, I'm here for the female. We're going to have a male coming for you. And I'm like, we're going to have like a female coming for you. And I'm like, oh, thank God. And I'm thinking to myself, thank God. That would never be touch me. So therefore, that's why I'm saying if it was like a woman, you know, like let's exclude the whole beautiful thing. A woman approached me, I'd be more open-minded to it than a man. And that's why I told him it's a raw idea that he brought to me. But I feel like it could be refined and be better because it's not a terrible idea. If you think about it, especially in Southwest Louisiana.
It's the execution of it.
Yeah,
It
basically, that's
can
what I
be
felt about it.
refinable.
But
Yeah.
I think in the sense, let's say if you had a business, maybe let's say you got the massage business in town, and then everybody know it, and then you
You're
offered it.
established.
Yeah, established, and you offered it like we can come to your house and get it done.
Yes.
Maybe that will work in a sense. Just nobody knows who the heck you are, and then you just knocking
Because
on
remember,
people's
there's
door.
a no like trust factor. If you have an established business and people already know you, they like your services and they trust you to perform those services in an efficient manner, then you can start offering that type of convenience. Because again, people will pay for convenience and they will pay with a premium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I mean, as a matter of fact, I'm like I said, put
So
the
you
guy
guys-
in touch with you and see where it goes from there. Because when he told me that idea, I told him, me personally, man, you came to my house, I'll tell you, get the hell away
for
from
a
my
minute,
house. man.
I thought you were gonna say, I'm gonna start a massage business.
No, I mean, hey, if the money's right, I'm down. If the money's right, I'm gonna start knocking it from door to door.
And then first thing you say, like, you gonna make sure your shirt say no Diddy on it every time.
That's immediately suspect.
Hey, no Diddy, but I got a massage business. If we can come to your house and you gotta start with the whole no Diddy thing, especially if you're a man.
Oh my gosh. Who started that? Diddy did.
I don't know who started it, but it makes sense.
These days you gotta say that just
Just to be safe.
Oh my gosh.
Just to be safe.
It's too much going on.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. But Miss Carrie, seems like from when I read your portfolio, seems like you do a lot. So I know you kind of give us a background as of what got you into real estate or whatever. So therefore, where did the whole entrepreneurship? Because you cover a lot. You do literally a lot. Because I don't think we never had a chance to really introduce you as far as everything that you do.
Yeah.
So what led you to do all that?
yeah, where it's all started. Like
I am so happy you asked me that because I love to serve. Like, I have a heart to serve. That is my passion. And I really enjoy being able to work with a business owner, help them implement just little tweaks, not really revamp their whole business, but just change their mindset and show them little tweaks and see them be so successful. That is what I really enjoy. And after my first business failed, I was actually looking for what is it that I should do. Like, I knew I wanted to help people, but I couldn't figure out like what is it that I'm supposed to be doing. So I got into the financial services industry, and I would say that every product or service that I offer, it is something that I needed, that I was able to execute on my own, do it efficiently, and then in return I monetized it. So everything that I offer is basically something that was a pain point for me that I needed to figure out. And then I said, well, if I need this, if I need grants, or if I need government contract procurement, or if I need, a real estate consultant, then I wonder how many other people need this. And so I started establishing myself as a real resource, because people need resource, right? Like they have great business ideas. They can kind of figure some things out on their own. But when it comes down to the nitty gritty and stuff they cannot figure out, or who to go to for what, or where do I go and get money, people need a reliable resource. Somebody that's not about the fluff, that's actually going to get them what they need. And so I started asking myself, how can you be a real resource? How can you be a one-stop shop? Not necessarily doing everything, but offering the products and services that really matter. And so that's how I became
Like somebody that covers so much.
right.
But what that is extremely
I mean,
interesting.
and then the fact that you use like is based on experience and stuff that you learn, like mistakes that you made,
Right.
and that's really like resourceful in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you can just like I can come to you and say, okay, if I was you, I would do this because I did that. That you can have this. This can happen and save a lot of people the headaches, and that's what I understand
Right.
from. And
Because if you were a business owner, why would you hire a coach or a consultant? You're trying to skip the mistakes, right?
Yes.
So it's okay to be, and I tell people this, I'm not perfect. I made tons of mistakes, but I know how to overcome those mistakes, and I know how to deviate you from making those mistakes. That's why people hire a coach or a consultant. They're trying to skip that part of the process and get to the good part.
That is great.
I think.
So those courses that you do, are they like online or face-to-face? You schedule them to where people can come in all at once and then you speak in front of them as an instructor? Or are they like online courses they can purchase and watch the whole video or whatever the case might be?
So my general courses, the three courses that I mentioned, those are online, they're on demand, and when you purchase them, they immediately go to your email and they're module based. So they're broken up into modules, and you also get any materials that you need digitally to accompany those.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to one-on-one coaching or classes, those are tailored and customized to the client themselves.
Oh yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Oh, that is crazy. That is
Yeah.
amazing.
So
That's
you can
really
start. You
good.
can start general based on your price point, and then once you start implementing that, and you start seeing more revenue in your business, and you want to bump up to one-on-one because that's more your high ticket item, you've already established a rapport with me, so you know what I'm about. I
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about, but you just need a little bit more, right? So that's when people start to do the one-to-one services with me after they've experienced the proof of concept from those general courses, and they're like, well, I know enough to get started, and I was able to get pretty far, but now I'm ready to scale, and I need you to look at my business specifically and tell me what it is that I need to be able to scale my business specifically.
I think that in a lot of ways, I think that's what I need. That's what
I feel
need.
like anybody that's inspired to leave the 9 to 5 behind, especially within the area that can get access to you to an extent, you're the person to go to because it seems like you've done it all, learned it all, made all the mistakes or whatever, to where you've done learn how to overcome all those mistakes or whatever, those hurdles per se. So therefore, anybody to an extent, where's my camera right here, that inspired to leave the 9 to 5 behind, and I'm one of them myself, and I've felt before from being a business owner. So therefore, anybody that want to skip the step of failing, Miss Carrie Goodwin is the person to get in touch with.
Right. And listen, I failed tons, but every time I fail, you should fail forward, not backwards, right? So if you're gonna fail, because failure is just the name of the game. If you're gonna be an entrepreneur, it's high
Yes.
risk, high reward. You're gonna bust your tail sometimes. That's just how it is. My first business was a tremendous failure, but it was a stepping stone as well. And I learned what I needed to learn, and I took what was positive and I brought it with me to the next business, and I continue to do that.
See, this is to me like that's what I got. I don't know why I never used the word fail for, especially to me, because I feel like it's learning and the
It's
way I take
learning.
it because I think when it's fail is when you give up. As long as you keep going, it's a learning experience. So that happened. I guess you can call it fail, but I don't think it's
Yeah.
I learned from
But
this. So I'm
failing
not
is
gonna
not a bad thing.
yeah. I mean I'm not gonna go. Oh, I fall right here. Okay, next time I'm not gonna go this way no more. So therefore, it's just you learning
Yes.
not to do the same thing again. So that's why I don't call it. If I don't like to use the word failure because I feel like failure kind of like is like a negative connotation. So I just want to like I learn from his experience. Learn like okay, what's the next one?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do this. That's why I use. I don't failure is a good. I mean, is the way how you I guess based on perception how you looking at it. But to me, I try to not to use it
Yeah.
because I feel like it's not really failure because failure is like in my head the way I trying to understand it is when you give up. Like okay, I was trying to do this, that happened, I failed, I give up. That's failure to me. But if you take it like okay, cool, this didn't work, try something else. I call it like experience learn, not failure. That's why I don't use the word failure, me personally. So
I'm so glad you said that because I always tell people I fail a lot and I still do. This is life. We're figuring things out. But just because I fail a lot, I'm not a failure. There is a difference.
Yes.
And we have to shift our mindsets because a lot of people do not start that business. You are one idea away from being a millionaire, a multimillionaire, setting up your family for generations. And you know why people don't start? Because they are afraid to fail and they are afraid of what other people will say. And just because you fail does not make you a failure.
That's
because
true.
I'm not a failure.
This is
I fail
true.
all the time, but I fail forward, I learn from it, and I make that failing experience a success in the next situation, but I've never been a failure.
I agree
Yeah,
with that
I- I
100%.
agree.
So
Yeah.
one thing I wanted to tell you, I know you and I, we got a chance, like we got a chance to talk off camera, but like give people like an idea of your background, came from high school, who was Miss Carrie growing up, where she came from, the whole deal.
I love to tell this story because I feel like a lot of people see me and they see what I'm doing and they think that my life is perfect. And it's not. So I was actually a teen mom. I got pregnant at 17, gave birth to my daughter at 18, experienced poverty. I was on Section 8, actually, 20? I was on Section 8 14 years ago. I celebrated every year, literally. And it's an accomplishment for me because at 23, I was able to purchase my first home. And that was some normalcy for my daughter and I. My life has been like this, like a roller coaster. So when I purchased that home, it was an accomplishment for me. I did it on my own. I didn't need any help. I used my own credit. I gave my own down payment, and it was something for my daughter and I. And then that same home that I told you about, that home went into foreclosure
Yeah.
because of a failed business. And because I had tenants in it, didn't know how to properly vet the tenants, and they weren't paying their rent. So I failed so much in life, but I've learned from those failures. And so that's why I do what I do, because I understand that people are looking for someone that is just like them. And people don't identify with perfection.
Yeah.
People identify with realness.
Yes.
And because I am a real person that they can talk to, that can provide them solutions, that has been through a lot of the same things as them, bad credit, houses being foreclosed on, failed businesses, different things of that nature, but experiencing success now, even in this economy, there is a resilience to that people identify with. Because if you're going to be in business, you have to be resilient.
Yes.
It is not going to be roses every day. It's not going to be, just this, fluttering butterflies, prince treatment, royalty. It's not like that. You really have to get into it and understand how businesses work, understand how revenues work, understand profit margins. You got to pay taxes because the IRS don't play with you.
No, they do
it's
not.
so many moving parts to a business. And when people look at it, they look at it like, oh my God, I have this idea and I know that this idea is like so amazing, but how am I going to, A, bring it to fruition and make it a reality? And how am I going to sustain it? Like, what do I do? And so it is so important to have a coach that can just actually cheer you on. Like some people just need a cheerleader.
Yes.
They need a roadmap. Like think about it. You were telling me how you travel a lot. Okay, so when you go to Venice, do you know your way around Venice or do you have
Not
to
at
use a
all.
GPS?
I have to use
Really?
BS.
So you have to rely on direction.
Yes.
People rely on direction.
And make it more easy. Make it like
Yeah.
you got that. That's what I'm saying. Every time the whole time you was talking, I'm like, man, it's just because to me, like even though when you people playing sports and all of that, when you got a coach that telling you, hey, this is the muscle you need to work on, this is the move you gotta need to work on, it's the same thing. Like the whole time I'm listening to you, I'm like, man, it's make it so easy because like you don't know, I don't know. I'm trying to start this
Right.
business and I don't even know where to start. But when you can actually have somebody that's telling you, from point A to point Z,
Yeah.
actually had to go through it. And then when you find setback, and you can always go back and not like somebody you calling 1,000 miles away, you don't even
Yeah.
know if it's a real human or not. But the fact that you can have this one-on-one with somebody that understand the business,
Yes.
understand what you need to do,
Yes.
I think this is gold.
And to coach you up from the failing situation so that you can learn from it and move on from it. Because it's like sports. You make a bad play. You can't let that bad play get into your head. There's the rest of a game that needs to be played.
Yes.
Your business still needs to succeed. It doesn't matter whether you did something bad or you made a bad financial decision. Your business still needs you. And there are people that are out there depending on you to do what you are called to do. So that business has to work. It has to succeed. There's no plan B.
Yeah,
Whenever you're walking in your purpose, it's plan A and plan A only. It gotta work or it gotta work.
I agree with that 100%. I
It's
genuinely
just like
do.
so. That's what I always tell them. So to me, like starting a business, I never look at the part where like it's not gonna work. I never look at this one because I already know when it comes to hard work, it's my stuff. I don't even think about it because this is a giving to me. Like putting the
Right.
work in is a giving. So I'm just looking
Right.
at like, man, okay, if I do this, if I know how to do this, I'm gonna be successful. Either way, I know it's gonna. I'm not delusional. I know bad things gonna happen, but I
Right.
don't even think about it because I think in my head, in myself, putting the work in is a giving. So as long as you put the work in, you're gonna be
But
successful no
I
matter
gotta
what
touch
happens.
up on that, like especially from a personal experience. The working, as far as for us immigrants or whatever the case might be, it's not an issue. But to an extent, it gets to a point to where it's kind of like you don't know what to do. It's kind of like you feel like I've hit a wall, I've hit a stop sign, I don't know what to do forward. It's not because if I knew what to do, I'd run headfirst at it.
Yeah.
But the fact that I don't really know what to do, and I feel like to an extent that's where she steps in. Because with us, like with me and my brother, the truck business we had going on, it was just me and him trying to figure it out what
On
to
your
do.
own.
So therefore, like when it came to an extent to where we didn't know what to do, that's why we don't want to be like, we still have them trucks, we're trying to sell them now, but it got to a point to where like the money that we make, as soon as we make it, we got to spend it into another truck. We don't know what to do. What's the next step? We did not know it. Because if we knew the next step, we'd run 1,000 miles to get to it.
Yeah.
But we
Right.
don't know it. But yeah, that's where I guess somebody like her comes in to where it's kind of like you explain the problem, where I'm at, and then she can use the expertise
Yes.
to pretty much tell you that's what I think you should do next.
And this is what I get from the whole time I'm thinking like, man, I hope somebody's the same way. Like, I mean, I know my reaction inside doesn't show it on my face, but I'm like, man, this is like really, really good in my head. I'm thinking like, man, this is everybody like starting a business. Like you were saying, is you started the business, you don't know where to go, but if you got somebody like you, and they can just like, hey, like you already know what the next, like I said, you already know what the next game is playing. So now you're not worried about the game. You're worried about like the preparation. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So that's what I get from that. Like the minute I know what to do next. Like you were saying, I can run 1,000 miles. I know what the destination is. But when you don't know if you need to go left. You don't know if to go right. And I
Right.
think this is where you really are important in a lot of sense, because having a coach and somebody like I can rely on, and somebody that's like get a chance to develop a connection with you, a relationship. Like, man, it's just like
Absolutely.
like, and then like I think the rest will be history. Like, even though that business didn't work the way you wanted to, but guess what? Now you learn from that experience, and you know what? I want to start something new. Like now
Yeah.
you motivated to get on this thing because you know you got in a sense everybody want a support system, like you know what I mean, like somebody you can
Yes.
count on,
Yes.
somebody when things go bad you can say, man, what am I doing wrong? I'm doing this and that, but he's not working, and you're like, oh, let me look at it. Oh, this is what you was doing when. This is everything to me. So I'm enjoying this moment a lot. I hope if somebody's watching and be like, man,
Well,
I'm
I can
gonna
tell you right now, I think I'm gonna be one of your future students.
me too.
Yeah, I would love that.
You know, sign me up. Like I'm already done. Like that's the whole time. I'm like, man, this is.
So
really
therefore,
good.
like to anybody watching and listening to this right now, and then people that are like inspired to be like a future business owner, like maybe whether you have an idea or maybe you don't, but you just know like the 9 to 5 and 8. And even though we kind of had like a podcast that covered the whole thing already, I feel like Miss Carrie Goodwin is like the person to get in touch with, because as far as for courses, like people like will teach you the whole thing. Like she said, she's learned from her own failures, and I feel like if you get in touch with her, that's about all you need to do. To where it's kind of like you can just have an idea and run it by her, to where she can tell you how to put it into fruition from step 1 to step 100. So therefore,
And I don't think the money's really like a thing I even look at. I think just having a coach, it's more important than, because you're gonna make money regardless.
because
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I at some point you don't even look at the how. I mean, I don't think, and to me, I don't know. I don't think there's enough money to pay somebody that can actually
give you the knowledge.
give you
Because
that
knowledge is power.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
So
think about the case study that I disclosed to you. We took this client and we added $100,000 to her monthly revenue.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's what I'm saying, though. I'm
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
she didn't have to pay you.
that's what I'm saying.
I'm sure she didn't have to pay you $50,000 to learn that.
absolutely
So
not.
therefore, that's what I'm saying, though.
It was a small fraction of that, and all I did was take what she was already doing, and I just looked at it with a new set of eyes, and showed her how to do it more efficiently, to double her production, to 10x her revenue, pretty much.
you can
You know.
beat that, man. I mean, this is everything right now.
Yeah.
I wish I had a chance to meet you while I was doing the whole business, the whole truck business, because it was like an up and down. Like the money was good,
Yeah.
but at the same time, the
When
truck
it's good, it's good.
consumed
When it's
it.
bad, it's bad.
Yeah, the truck consumed it right back, because it got to an extent to where like we
Yeah.
were picking up like 5, 8, 10, to an extent even damn near $20,000 a week. But at the same time, one truck breakdown for the smallest thing, not only the truck gonna be out of work for like almost 2 months, but it's damn near $10,000 to fix it.
Yeah.
And then that was the part that me personally, I was like, yeah, I think we need to let this thing go.
Well, the government buys dump trucks if you're trying to sell them.
Oh, we're trying to sell them. We got 4 of them. Like I said, that's what I'm saying. Anything you got going on, Miss Carrie got the answer.
The government don't do nothing for itself. They outsource everything.
Yeah, we got like
so.
4 of them. So
I
therefore,
think I think I talk to you off camera, because when I'm too excited about this thing,
yeah, I think
just
we know.
feel
As a matter of fact, we need to go ahead and end this thing right now. Miss Carrie gonna be back, but right now we need help with Miss Carrie. Once we get the help we need, then Miss Carrie gonna be
Then I can
available to the
come
rest of the
back.
population.
So, but I think it was very valuable. I learned a lot, and I understand, and I feel like in the sense of relief for me, like, oh, so if I really want to start something, I got somebody that can show
Man,
me.
run that whole real estate thing you had going on, because you ran it by me. I couldn't help him. I'm like, yeah, it's good, go for it, but I didn't have no answer for him.
Yeah, because I always wanted to go to real estate, because that's something I want to do. So,
Okay.
off camera, we're going to talk about it. I mean, I got a coach already, so I'm good. Miss Carrie's my coach. And
We might have to do a part 2 so we can
Oh
go
yeah,
more down
that's for
the-
sure. And also for
Yeah.
anybody that's watching right now, we're gonna have a part 2, 3, 4, 5
Miss
all the
Carrie,
way.
Miss Carrie is known to the show. She's gonna keep coming back.
Like once
Anytime
we
she
get, like I
works.
said, once we get the help we need, then she's gonna be available to the rest of the world.
Anyway, she's very busy right now, because she gotta coach us right now. So she's full. No, I'm just messing around. So for anybody that's wanted to get in contact with you, like in a sense, you know what? Before I even ask that, for any let's say young people, 17, 18, 19, and what you think, say, man, what advice would be for them,
Entrepreneur-wise?
Entrepreneur-wise, to
Entrepreneur-wise,
avoid
or-
the whole mistake, I gotta start from 9 to 5 or whatever the case was. It's kind of like if they want to start from scratch. Is there anything you kind of want to tell them?
Yes, actually. So the city from time to time will pay me to teach teen entrepreneurs, and I love this group or this generation because they're not afraid of anything. And the digital age is something that they are using to their advantage. Digital products, e-commerce, YouTube, content. I would say to any teenager, 18, 19, 20, 17, if you're in that age range, if you have an idea, go for it because you have the rest of your life to fix whatever mistake that you make. And generally, their ideas, they're more creative than ours.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Like
for
they
sure.
just have a mindset that if you just like they don't act like they're listening, but they are listening. They're paying attention to everything that we do. They're soaking in everything, and that generation is very resourceful. And so I would say to you, if you have an idea and you have a parent or a guardian or just even a mentor that is nurturing that idea, go for it. Now is the time. And if you fail, you can fall back on something else later, but go for it. Absolutely.
That is great advice. That is really great advice,
Absolutely.
especially when you're young, you get your whole life ahead of you.
Yes.
To where it's kind of like
Make
whatever
the
mistake
mistake
you're gonna make,
early.
it's not gonna be that big. You've learned from it,
Yeah.
but you can move forward. Like let's just say you fail at 21, you're still young.
That's still nothing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You feel like you started at 18, you fell at 21,
Yeah.
and then let's just say you fell again at 23. By
But
30,
what
you're rich.
what experience did you gain? So if you start at 18 and you fail at 21, that's 3 years of experience.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That can go on a resume. I mean, you got 18-year-olds that are starting tech companies.
Yes.
So therefore, Miss Carrie, I feel like everything you got to offer is extremely valuable. So like one thing we're gonna make sure we do, like when we post this video, is make sure we put all your information underneath it.
Yes.
So anybody, boys and girls, women and men who got a business going on, or perhaps you want to start a business, I feel like Miss Carrie is the way to go because she's extremely knowledgeable in all that type of stuff. To where like, once you reach out to her, she can steer you on the right path.
And I'm not a know-it-all, but what's important to know is that I am resourceful because there are certain situations that a person may have that I may not have encountered. I mean, I haven't helped everybody in the world yet, and,
Yeah.
and every client is different. But what's important to know is that I'm a coach that is resourceful. And if you have an idea that is not quite a business yet, we help with entity formation as well. So if you just need somebody to help you just get on paper, we help you get started with that as well. So you don't have to have the business.
You like
to
create
be-
an LLC and all of that?
yeah, we get you started.
All
We
right,
get you
well, I feel
started
like
from
there
scratch.
you have it.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
in any state.
and then they can so what where people can contact you at, like on social media and stuff like that.
Social media, I'm on Facebook as Carrie Griffin Goodley. My TikTok is Carrie Goodley. My Instagram is I am Carrie Goodley.
All right,
So
we're gonna
it's
make sure
my name.
we're gonna make sure you put all that stuff down there to where it's kind of like whatever information you may need, just reach out to her. Like
Yeah.
participate in one of her courses. What the hell you got to lose anyway?
Yeah, what I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's I don't think money to me. I don't think money. Like when you're starting a business, if you can find somebody that can help you be successful,
Go
I don't
for
think
it.
you can put no price on that.
Go for it, that's
I
for
mean,
sure.
Personally, so
Yeah, if you're really trying to make some money. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got one more question. and
Yeah,
that'll be it.
absolutely.
What would you ask if you had a chance to talk with your 16-year-old self or 15-year-old self? What would you say?
That's a great question.
You know, oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I wish that my 16-year-old self could see me now because I struggled to identify with who I was. And so what I would tell my 16-year-old self is the end result is going to be worth it. It's going to hurt in the middle. And I would say that to anybody. When you're trying to get to where it is that you're supposed to be or where you're supposed to go, it's going to hurt. You will experience pain. You will experience setback. But remember the promise that you saw when God gave you that idea, because that is what you're working for. That is your why. If you have kids, if you have a family, or if you are trying to leave a legacy, or just trying to make your mark on the world, that is your why. And so when you experience setbacks or roadblocks, remember why you did it and do not give up, because a lot of people, where they make the mistake of is they give up right before their breakthrough.
See,
And
it's
if
true.
you just overcome the pain, it's kind of like working out. Like if you want a certain body or if you want to lose a certain amount of weight, when you first start working out, what's the first thing you feel?
Pain.
Pain. but you can work through that pain to get the result that you want, right?
Yeah,
You got a dream body that you want. So you're going to work through that pain. It's the same thing. You got a dream life that you're trying to live. So you have to work through the pain. That's very important to know. Do not give up just before your breakthrough. Most people make that mistake.
Thank you so much,
Great
Miss
answer.
Carey.
Thank you, Miss Carey, for stopping by. I feel like
Thank
you had like
you for
so
coming
much.
to this show. I mean, that was incredible, and I couldn't be more happier for you to come into the show. And
Oh, yeah, she
Thank you
definitely
so
will be back.
much.
That's for sure.
yeah,
I'll be back.
yes, I mean, I really love the everything about you. I like, the way you talk. I like the way you all the services you're providing, being a coach. I mean, I find a lot of, information on that, and I learned a lot from you in this little time we spend right now on the show, and I hope anybody's watching can, like, man, like, I'm not saying actually feel the same way I feel, but can be like, man, you know what? I find value in what we were talking about and on what you're providing, and that might help somebody and get better and trying to get out of the 9 to 5. So
Yeah.
thank
That's
you
for
so
sure.
much, so much, so much for coming
You are
to this show.
absolutely welcome. I truly enjoyed myself.